Hello, you wonderful Life Path 3 person. Welcome to your 2026 Numerology and Tarot forecast with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, we are going to explore what the universal year one of 2026 has in store for you based on all of the different areas of your life. Then, we're going to get into your 12-month tarot breakdown to see how it's likely to unfold for you. And we will go from there. So, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. So we're going to get straight into it. So this year, my wonderful Life Path 3 people, is a year that is going to tend towards more focus, more dedication to your craft, whatever that might be. This is the year that you really fully lean into the build phase of your life. It's time for you to knuckle down and really get serious, Life Path 3, about what you want for your future and, more importantly, where you go from here. This is a year for you to take yourself, your craft, and your art seriously. This year is really asking you to think about crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and where you are working with others or contracts, they should absolutely be airtight this year. Where you are building, do it as a team, but reserve creative control. This is the year that you are really starting to harden and crystallize your plans and, more importantly, your approach to things. In fact, I would say that this year could absolutely be considered, usually you have like a very carefree sort of chilled energy that brings, that brings people sort of a lot of calm and a lot of pleasure and a lot of laughter. But this year, people might be a bit like, damn, you're very businesslike. You're a lot more focused. You're a lot more dedicated. Good. That's what this year is about for you, right? This is a year in general to do things very differently. And in order for you to really progress this year, you need to delve into the talents and the skills that you already have, but put both of those and yourself to work, right? This is the time you got to get that. You want those things, you better work. All right. The magic is yours for the taking, but it's going to be built brick by brick. Get a solid foundation in place, and then you launch, right? This is the year that you build something for you to kick off so that you can get out there to make stuff happen. This year, when it comes to your career, this is a year for you to step up, to stand up and be counted. This is a year for you to find the courage to lead, which means taking yourself and your career that much more seriously. This is a year where people and your connections to them absolutely matter. Not as a passing fancy, not as a whim, not even as friends. This is a year for you to really understand the line between friends and colleagues, acquaintances and professional connections. You might even be expected this year to draw lines and boundaries, and that might be really hard for you at first because it's not something that it's not to say that you don't do this, it's just to say it's not really usually in your remit because you flow so well with things. This year is going to be very different, and it will be vital for you really this year to get really serious about drawing the right kinds of boundaries in the right places. So let's explore how this career stuff is likely to unfold for the different areas of all of you. If you are a student this year, even as you are just studying, like even if you're just starting your studies, this is the year for you to get really clear and serious about what the end goal is. Why am I doing this? Be intentional about it. Don't just float about. Start picturing the finish line and where it goes from there on in, right? Start thinking long term about what the plan is. What do you truly desire to do with your path, with your life, with your studies? How are these studies, whatever it is your subject matter is, how is this feeding directly into the life that you desire? If you're going to study and you're going to spend thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever it is that you're going to spend, then you better make damn sure that you are intentional about how you use that money. It's really worth thinking about this as well. Like, where does all of this go? It's a time for you to think about what you do and also how what you do serves the collective. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is the time for you to really think about how you can lead, how to build your team, and how to cultivate the energy around you to really get people to say, like, damn, you know what? You've always been a team player, but now I really understand that you could be an incredible leader. Where do you want to take the team that you have? What do you feel like you are able to offer, and how do you want to spend those skills and the social currency that you have to really drive things forward? By figuring out exactly where you fit in this year, you can really excel, right? Once you start to figure out what role, what function do I really fulfill within the team, once you understand that, you're going to be unstoppable. And I'm going to give you an example. Whenever I used to interview for jobs previously, whenever I worked within a team, my job or my understanding of my role and my function within the team was always as the glue. All right. And I loved that because that was how I was really able to flourish. That's what helped me understand how to get ahead, in my job. So this year, you got to figure that out for yourself. You'll find your groove. And when you begin to pursue it with like that ruthless kind of vigor and that focus and that determination, while you want you usually want things to be lighter hearted and more fun. And it absolutely can be. I'm not saying change everything about yourself. What I am saying is the old ways are not going to cut it this year. Your sweat, your focus, your discipline, and your determination is what's going to be required for you, or from you this year, should I say, whether you like it or not. For those of you that are self employed, well, Christian Grey told us that business is about people. Entrepreneurs will tell us that business is about truly serving people. Moguls will tell you that business is all about solving problems. So the question is, when it comes to your business, for those of you that are self-employed, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, what does your business solve? If anything, ask yourself that question. If it doesn't, start thinking about how the skills that you have, the services you have, the products that you have can help others, and fast. This is what you need to figure out this year. If you already know what that is, really lean into it, refine that process, progress this year, and lean all the fucking way into it, right? Set yourself a task and set yourself seriously on those tasks and work solidly on what you offer and how you lead in your business. Even if your business is just you, how do you expand that? How do you take it further? These are all the things that you're being asked to really consider very seriously this year. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, well, if you're retired, it means how much time are you spending in nature? How well acquainted with the animal kingdom are you? And I ask because this is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. That sounds really odd, right? But trust me for this. If you're not the hiking type, then you start hiking. If you're not the outdoors type, become one, right? Whatever you do, whatever you believe, nature, greenery, and the elements absolutely enhance and prolong our health. Scientifically proven that the more greenery that you see, it actually helps repair and focus and look after your retinas in your eye. Maybe take up gardening, maybe get a pet. This is the year that really is about what makes you feel young, what makes you feel like you're really reconnecting with yourself on that physical level, what really keeps your brain healthy and firing on all cylinders. Do more of that this year. When it comes to your love life, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, if you're partnered, this year, love is work and work is love. And that's not to say it's boring, but this is the year that you need to tend to the details and the maintenance of your relationship. This is where you really put some good, solid effort into the relationship, finding out what it needs and doing more of that, working on the structure and the definition of the relationship. What are we? Are we in that, they say you get into the roommate phase? Well, if you're in that, how do you change it? What are you going to dedicate yourself to in order to change it? Set dates and don't break them. Make non-negotiable times for everything from sex right through to date nights and everything else in between. Also, Ask yourself, is this relationship solid? Does it feel like we are really in this together, that we have a solid platform under us so that we can rise together? Your partner might challenge this for you this year. They might challenge your ideas. They might challenge your beliefs. They might challenge your methods. This is not about dissent or causing problems for the sake of it. It's about checking the foundations. For those of you that are single, the tried and true tested methods of dating are your way forward this year. This is the year that you get serious about relationships. So if you no longer want to be single, how often are you going out? How often are you going to the places that you like to meet people that have similar hobbies? Set up a dating profile, let people set you up. All of the usual traditional methods of dating and meeting people. This is what I'm like. I will say this as well. When I say a dating profile, skip the endless swiping and chat cycles. Move from the platform to real life as soon as possible this year. All right. So if you meet someone and you're talking, yeah, life is busy. However, within the first week, you want to be going for coffee with this person in the real world. Okay, like that's what I'm talking about. Get off the app and into real life. This year, you're naturally going to be a bit more ambitious. So don't be surprised if you start to attract people who are a bit more serious, are a bit more focused, are a bit more ambition. And don't be surprised if they challenge you to be a bit more of that as well. Okay. When it comes to your money this year, when it comes to finances, again, knuckle down, get serious. Book a solid financial planning session with an advisor. Understand your incomings and your outgoings with a fine tooth comb this year. This is a year for you to really crunch the numbers when it comes to your money and when it comes to getting into the data around these things. It's a year for you to really build financial security for yourself. That might look like investments that are, that appreciate. It might look like assets that gain over time. It might be bricks and mortar for some of you. That's possible. This is a year for you to start really thinking about long-term health, the long-term health of your wealth, and also understanding that wealth and abundance mean different things to different people. This is the year that you discover what they actually mean to you in a practical sense. So not as like some elusive kind of nebulous figure that you dream about, like, oh, one day having more money, right? You're getting clear about, no, at the end of, I don't know, 2026 or 2027, I want this amount of money in my account, right? Getting really clear and specific with it. The clearer you are, the easier it's going to be. And when it comes to savings, this is an area for you to absolutely lean into this year. Pick a goal, and I mean a stretch goal when it comes to your finances this year, and stick to the plan that it's going to require for you to get there. Remember, wealth is an energy, and the clearer you are about where it flows, the stronger it's going to grow for you. Okay? Now, in terms of your health, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, when it comes to health in general, work on the structure of your body this year. Get really serious about two things: your physical health and vitality and your gut health and vitality. I'm talking about all aspects, especially the foundations of these things. So physically, build your body. Yes, women, I'm even talking to you. Weight and resistance training are especially important for women, especially for women 40 and between 40 and 45 and upwards. Weight training and resistance training is more important for you guys than it is for men, because women deplete in bone density as they age, right? So weight training is not, you're not going to suddenly wake up and be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, no offense. Do you know how much time, effort, and money, and quite frankly, food that takes? Get serious about this. Man or woman, strength training this year is absolutely your friend. Check in with your healthcare professional. When it comes to your mind, meditation, mindfulness, satori, the ability to be completely focused and immersed on the thing that you are focused and immersed on at that moment. Look it up. It's a Japanese term, right? The discipline of attention will absolutely help you sharpen your focus and calm your mind this year. When it comes to your spiritual health, a solid routine on a daily level can really adhere that you can really adhere to easily and effortlessly is going to be your best friend. And I'll tell you why, because so what I find for myself is whenever I am cleaning, my mind is able to wander. It's one of the reasons that I love a good clean, because it really, like, your physical body can just go along, but your mind and your spirit can work through things. It's just, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Anything that has a repeatable rhythm, anything like mantra work, cleaning, skipping, anything that has like a repetitive rhythm about it can really help expand your spiritual insight this year. It absolutely can. Foundations are everything this year. Now, before I let you go on to your 12-month tarot reading, I want to get into the 2026 compass. What is it? Who wants it? Who needs it? Well, first of all, I do want to say there are only 30 spaces for this, and this is because this is the amount of work that's going into this. I want to make sure that I can deliver the same level of quality to the first person and the 30th person. So, what is the compass? I knew that 2026 was going to be a very different year where we all had to do things completely differently to how we'd done them before. And so, I wanted to help people with that, and I wanted to get ahead of it before it even started. The compass is a 12-month tarot reading, right? I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts, the bare minimum, the base structure. That's that. Then you're going to get a PDF booklet, and in that PDF booklet, you're going to have notes that are written directly by me on your chart or your astrology and your numerology. There's plenty of space in there for you to take notes. Why would you need to take notes? Because then in December, you're going to have a 3-hour session where you and me are going to sit down. We are going to build you a strategy based on your cards, your numbers, your stars. This is completely built by you and me, and we are going to focus on your year ahead. As if all of that wasn't enough, you also get a complimentary seat on the winter solstice this year so that you can absolutely align to the energy of 2026, before it even starts. There's a payment plan, so you pay in 2 installments. On sign up, you pay one half. In November, you pay the second half. By the time you get to December, you're already paid up. No financial worries about this in the new year. On top of that, by the time you step into January of 2026, you have an entire strategy built for you, based on you, so that you can absolutely smash the year. There's a link in the description box below. Be sure to check that out. As I said, there's only 30 spaces. There won't be a second wave release. I just don't have the time, because the amount of time and energy that are going into just one of these is going to be immense for me. All right. So with that said, it would be my pleasure to serve you in this way. I cannot wait to see you at my table. Stay tuned for the next part, which is your 12-month tarot breakdown. Take care. I'll see you in a moment. Hello, you wonderful Life Path 3 person. Welcome to your 12-month tarot breakdown. So let's get straight into it. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So you've seen your life sector overview, so you have an idea of how this year is unfolding for you in terms of your numerology energies. So your first card out, it kind of typifies the year that you're going to have. So I always say to people, if it's a challenging card, it doesn't mean that you throw the whole reading in the trash. It just means that this is something extra that you need to kind of take a little bit of care with. And for this, you have the Judgment card. So this is a year that is likely to be a big year for you. And it means that in some way, shape, or form, you are being encouraged to really take and make some life-changing decisions this year. Remember, the Judgment card is kind of like a grand clearing of the decks. It's the card that literally comes right before the World card. And so the message here is, this is where you really get engaged with life and you absolutely go for it in some regard. Now, what this also means is there could be a blast from the past here in January, straight out of the gate. You've got this with the Ace of Swords. This could be an old contract of some sort that comes up for resolution, maybe for you to sign. I would also say, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if a lot of you are seeking to go back to an old industry that you once worked with, because the Ace of Swords can be things like interviews, and obviously the Judgment card is your deep past. It wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility. A lot of you could be really focusing on getting back to an industry that you once worked in, maybe even a location that you once worked in. For some of you, if you didn't, like, let's say you went to school, college, or university, but you didn't get your degree because you didn't finish, a lot of you in January could be going back to school, or at least starting the process of that, where you say, you know what, this time I'm going to take it all the way home. There's some kind of big personal milestone or life rite of passage that you're like, it's almost like you're looking back to this to say, yeah, you know what, the key for me really getting ahead is to go and finish this thing, right? To get it done. Once it's done, I'll then be able to move on. Now, on the 26th of January, we've got Neptune moving into the sign of Aries. It's coming back into Aries. It's going to be there now for the next 14-ish years. So it's a big deal. February is the most intense concentration of astrology in the year. We've got a lot of big things going on this month. February 14th, Saturn comes back into Aries as well, joining Neptune. We've got a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces that starts on February 26th, goes through to March the 20th. On top of that, we've also got a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. That's on the 17th of the month. And then on top of that, as if all of that wasn't enough, we also have the official Saturn and Neptune conjunction in the sign of Aries. This is a big deal for all of us in some way, shape, or form. So if you want to find out how all of that stuff's going to speak to your sign, go and check out your Astro Tarot. And if you really want to dig into it, then you need to book a personal reading with me on the link in the description box below. For February, this packed month, you have the look at that, right? The Hierophant card. The Hierophant card, so the Emperor is things like school and college. The Hierophant card is like university, PhD programs, anything that really takes you to a higher sort of level or standard of education. There could be a lot of focus here in February on the routines and the rituals of your life. It could also be a time where you are really starting to bring a more established sort of energy or balanced energy into your world. Now, you've got this with the Six of Swords. For some of you, the commute to and from work is shifting or changing. That would not be a surprise. For others, wherever you've had problems or issues with or around bigger or larger institutions, especially things like governments, local authorities, this is February is a month where they really start to improve, and you're going to be able to look at this and say, okay, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Now I can take a moment to relax, kind of thing. The other thing that I want to say with this as well is, for a select few of you, if you've been in and this will only apply to you if what I say now is going to apply to you. If you've been in and out of hospital with a health situation, February you have a breakthrough. This is where things really start to improve for you. As we come into March, we've got the final full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. It's the last one in this cycle, so that's really good. You've got the Empress card, so laying fertile soil and laying fertile seeds in fertile soil. You've got this with the Empress. March looks like a time where a lot of you life path 3 people could be slipping away to have a little nip tuck, darling, and come back looking rejuvenated. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that a lot of life path 3 people kind of disappear magically for the month of March, and then suddenly turn up looking very well rested. Just remember, obviously, Mercury is going retrograde, so you want to make sure that it's kind of outside of that window. The Hermit card does also suggest that you're spending time alone, but in a place of what I would consider really natural beauty. Maybe you're booking the log cabin for the weekend. Maybe you're taking time out. Maybe you are celebrating the fact that your studies is coming to a close, or even that your health is now starting to improve. In some regard, you are really taking time out. And I think March is going to be a much slower, much less sort of intense month than January and February for you. As we come into April, on the 26th of the month, we've got Uranus moving back into the sign of Gemini, where it will now be for the next 6+ years, right? So you're going to have a good, really good long time to get used to this. Uranus in Gemini is going to be a lot kinder to us than Uranus in Taurus was, because Uranus and Taurus are completely different energies. Gemini and Uranus, they have a lot more in common and they function better with each other. So I'm here for that. For this, you have the Justice card, right? So contracts and commitments are on the table here. There's probably a lot of these things going on at this moment in time. Especially what I want to say is watch out for things like verbal agreements, wherever you have those, especially if they're things that you really want to come to fruition, or they sound like, you know what, this is a really awesome opportunity. Try to nail them down to an official contract or signage in the month of April. You want to get this sort of locked down, or locked in as soon as you possibly can. The Fool card means that there is new things, new places, new people, new energies coming in. In particular, new commitments are being placed on your shoulders, whether that's things like promotions, whether it's new partnerships that are being formed. That's definitely possible. March, I really love that March you're kind of taking time off and out, because then as you come in April and there's more of this going on, it's like you can say, okay, you know what, I've had my rest, I've had my recuperation, my head's now fully in the game, and I can start moving forward again. Now, with that said, I want to tell you about the 2026 compass. I knew this year I would have to do it all differently because it's a universal 1 year. So it's going to be requiring change and adaptation from all of us. So if you are ready, you need to get into it. Now, for 2026, I created the 2026 compass. Imagine having a 12-month reading like this done specifically for you based on your energy. I'm also going to do a PDF calendar for you that's going to have a whole bunch of written insights in it, written by me specifically for you based on your astrology chart, based on your numerology numbers. As if all of that wasn't enough, in December, you're going to have a 3-hour session with me where you're going to literally sit down. We're going to use your tarot, astrology, numerology to plan your year meticulously. So, and as if all of that wasn't enough, you will also get a complimentary seat on the 2025 Winter Solstice Alignment Activation session to get your energy right as well, so that you can absolutely come into this year and smash it. There's a payment plan. You sign up, you pay your first installment. November, you pay your second installment. December, we get to your 3-hour sit down where we're going to plan your year. No financial stress for the new year. By the time you get to January, you have a strategy. You are ready to go into this monumental year. There's a link in the description box below. Make sure you check that out. I only have 30 spaces, and I only have 30 spaces because imagine how much time and effort went into these. Well, think about how much more time and effort is going to go into those 30 people. I'm going in, like I said, I pulled out all the stops this year. So if you want to get yours, get that on the link in the description box below. Because of the way that I'm releasing these this year, I'm not sure how many will be left. And doors do close on the 31st of October. So if you haven't got yours yet and there are still spaces left, I would get on that before they go. For May, you have the Strength card. So May is a month to really dig in. It's a month for you to really consider what's important to you. You've got this with the Knight of Pentacles. May is going to be a month of endurance. Right, this month is going to require a lot of discipline, a lot of focus, a lot of mental clarity from you. I think the other thing with this as well, May is also a time where a journey that you're taking could require a lot of courage. There could be something where you are really stepping into a new arena. Maybe you're stepping into a new country. Maybe you're stepping into a whole bunch of new customs. Whatever the case might be, it will really require a lot of your internal willpower and a lot of focus, determination, and drive. May is a month where I think you are going to be testing your limits. And when I say that, I don't mean like oh, well, maybe you're at the limits of your patience, but whatever it is, it's testing your endurance, it's testing your patience, it's also testing your commitment. And the fact that you have those cards come out sort of there in January, and then you have the Justice card with the Fool card, new commitments are coming in. Well, May is where you ante up. You either have this or you don't. You're either going to deliver or you won't. And, I'm sorry to be so cut and dry like that, but we're in a 1 year. This is one is not wishy-washy in any way, shape, or form. One is kind of like Yoda. There's no try. There's either you do or you do not do. There's no in between. It's not really a very yielding kind of energy. It's fun, it's dynamic, it's pioneering, it's completely different to what you expect. And 1 and 3 energy do interact very nicely. They tend to kind of balance each other out, right? The 3 brings the adaptability, but the 1 energy says, no, this is the focus. When you combine those 2 things, you have the right level of flexibility. So, in that way, you could balance it out. Now, for this, when we come into June, we've got the second Mercury retrograde of the year. That starts on June the 29th in the sign of Cancer. It goes all the way through to July the 23rd. So it's quite a long one, this one. And on the 19th of June, we have Chiron coming into the sign of Taurus. This is a big deal for the world, and I think we're all going to feel this one on the ground. Taurus is the banking system, it's the financial energies. Taurus also represents the food and agriculture. I'm fully expecting disruptions to the food supply lines, all of those kinds of things. Maybe things not being available, supermarkets being depleted, all of that kind of stuff. Insecurity and instability is what follows wherever Chiron goes. But also, a ramp up in production. When Chiron moved into the sign of Aries, that was coincided with the birth of Instagram. Right? So, yeah, I mean, granted, Uranus was there as well, but you get my point. Anyway, we also have Taurus ruling the banking or the financial system. There's likely to be insecurity there. You have 5 months to prepare. Squirrel away a little bit of extra cash, put some money aside, stock up on your tins, make sure your freezer is full, just because you don't know what's going to happen. And I always say this to people, and I have to say it to every sign and every life path number. When you get a hard prediction or a challenging message, it's not like, oh, this is happening and now I've just got to let this unfold. Make a plan to make it better. That's what the compass is for, right? I'm literally going to help you. We're going to co-create a plan for your year so that you can walk through the whole thing knowing exactly what you're doing. That in itself is already 60% of basically every challenge or battle that you're ever going to have. This Taurus Chiron energy, we're all going to be feeling that. Now that you know it's coming up, you are clued up. You are going to put a plan in place. You are going to use the first 5 years, first 5 months of the year to be ready for that month when it comes. Now, for June, you have the Hanged Man. Find a way to surrender to what is, right? Don't rally against the current. Get the lay of the land, see what's unfolding. You've got this with the King of Wands. Your personal visibility needs to be considered here. How visible are you? How visible is your business? It might be, even at work, right? For those of you that are employed, what are you doing to be noticed? How are you being noticed, if at all? These are all things that are coming up, as well as the King of Wands is usually a fire sign male. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm going to call this person probably an Aries because the Hanged Man represents Neptune, and Neptune is in the sign of Aries at this point. So whoever this Aries person is, they may feature for you. I actually think that this is likely to be somebody that really needs your help and support. So whatever's going on in June, do expect to be called upon to help or to assist. You might have to sacrifice your time. You might have to sacrifice your monies. With everything that's going on in the world at the time, you might need to sacrifice, some aspect of your life in order to support somebody that you care about, somebody that you love. As we come into July, depending on where you are in the world, it's either the 30th of June or the 1st of July. We have Jupiter coming into the sign of Leo. It's a once in 12-year transit. Have a look at where that falls in your chart and what you're likely to experience. On the 18th of the month, we've got the nodal shift. The south node is coming into the sign of Leo. The north node is moving into the sign of Aquarius. So we've got this new set of eclipses coming in now. For this, you've got the Temperance card. So a greater sense of alignment here. Your King of Wands could also be a Saggy male as well. That's possible. You've got this with the Two of Swords. June and July, whatever else is going on practically, June and July happen to be very spiritual months for you. I think there's going to be a lot of, if not a very big focus on spirituality. I think there's going to be a lot of focusing the mental powers of your mind. July is a time where you're really delving into this, and maybe for some of you, you are exploring a spiritual avenue, an occult science, or practice in some way. The other thing with the Two of Swords as well, this is usually where we need or require some form of justice. And July could see you getting that. But again, with the Temperance card here, it's like you're having to kind of take what you can get because you might not get everything. All right. So be aware that that's possible. I will also say, wherever it is that you're working with or alongside healthcare professionals based on somebody else's healthcare, what their needs are, etc., do a little bit of extra due diligence just to make sure that everything is above board, please. When it comes to August, we've got the second eclipse season of the year. So on the 12th of the month, we've got a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. On the 28th of the month, we have the final full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. Done and dusted. We're done with that sector of eclipses for the next 8-9 years. All right, so hallelujah. For this, you have the Emperor card. I want to see what that comes with. Okay. I'm going to stand by what I said. Wherever you're, like, let's say you've got carers coming in to care for an elderly parent, grandparent, or whatever, keep an extra eye. Wherever you're having to interact with the establishment, the medical industry, etc., August, quite frankly, you could be battling with one of them. That you might see something that you really don't like. You might catch wind of something that doesn't feel very good, or doesn't feel right. Get second opinions at this time. The Queen of Swords is about what we fight for or with. The Emperor can represent authority figures. So this could be where you are launching a formal complaint or investigation of some sort. Something like that is unfolding. It's also possible here as well, because the Queen of Swords is usually like, I always say, like, the Queen of Swords she's got a mouth like a sewer, but a heart full of gold. She always means well. Because she shows up with the Emperor, this might be somebody that is fighting on your behalf, like a legal professional or something, or somebody like in that kind of realm. Finally, another way that this could show up is a lot of you could be, having challenges with or around an educational system, or maybe even as a teacher or a lecturer, things might be a little bit more tense than you would like. Either which way, second opinions on everything for August. As we come into September, you've got the Moon card, so very reflective in September, looking over the past and the facts and the figures. You've got this with the Knight of Swords. This is an old or recurring argument or issue that is stubborn and persistent and does not seem to want to go away. I got to be honest with you, my feeling is that whatever's unfolding over June through August, September sees you sort of looking back over it and asking, okay, is there anything else that I can do here? Or maybe for some of you, is there anything else that I could have done? Another thing with the Knight of Swords, because it can be fast and aggressive communication, this could be an old argument or dispute that just doesn't seem to quit or to go away. Because the Knight of Swords also represents travel or a mode of travel, and sometimes a commute, you could be traveling somewhere at night at this time. And I want you to be really careful with things like road rage, ditches and stuff. I never forget one day in the end of 2018, the early 2019, I drove into there was a puddle that looked like a puddle, but it was like a gap in the road, and I cracked the rim of the car. I'll never forget it because the noise, it was like bang, and I heard something go, and I was like, oh shit, that's not going to be good. And then I realized like I'd cracked the rim. So this could be something like that. I want you to be extra careful when driving at night, extra careful with things like road rage as well. As we come into October, on the 3rd of the month, we've got Venus going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. She's going to come back into the sign of Libra and then go direct on the November the 14th. We also have on October 24th, Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, but he will stay in Scorpio, and that ends on November the 13th. So we've got two personal planets going retro in the month of October. It could be intense. We could feel that. You've got this with the Devil card, so just be aware that it's possible that this could be a little bit of a stickler. You've got this with the Justice card. There's something here that I kind of get the feeling that you are hell-bent on seeing through to completion. I kind of feel like you're saying, you know what, I don't care what it costs. I don't care how much time it costs me. I don't care. It's like you have to see you this hyper fixated is very strange. No offense to the Life Path 3 people, because when you're in your creative mode, you're very focused. But to see you like this almost feels not like a vendetta, but it's like you seeking justice for something. And I can only deduce that whatever it is, it sort of unfolds as of June onwards, right? There's something that seems to permeate this whole sort of portion of the year. And, I can only say it may have a legal or official sort of slant to it. October, there could be another break in the case, so to speak, because there's information that comes to light. Watch out for your own hyperfixation at this point, though, because it just could just go a little too far. November, you've got the Lovers card, so love, relationships, and partnerships is very much to the fore. You've got this with the King of Swords, so we've got a Gemini man who features for you very, very strong. Whoever this person is, you won't be able to ignore them. They will be, like up front and center. If you're single, potentially you're connecting to a fellow air sign. If you're single, you could be connecting to an air sign person, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. My money is on them being a Gemini. If you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, you could be speaking to a marriage counselor, a marriage therapist, or somebody that can help mediate between you and your partner. And I say this because the King of Swords is an expert. Another way that this could also show up is that you choose the path of expertise. So if you're going back to school or you're choosing to study or to upskill or whatever, it's like you're taking this as far as you can take it because you really want to specialize in some way. And then finally, you finish the year with the Wheel of Fortune. So that's nice, right? Things lighten up. You've got this with the Nine of Wands, though, which means that you are revisiting something here. So, September and December seem to be very reflective months where you're really starting to get into or dig into the history of something. The other thing is for December, you will have your moment to speak. It's like if there's something that you feel you need to get off your chest, something that it's like where you feel like, I feel like I'm owed an explanation or whatever the case might be, December, you could see that. With the, okay, that seems to be, you'll never guess, right? Wow. Okay. So yeah, with December, it's kind of like you're putting a capstone on something, but it's like you're digging into how something has unfolded in a specific way. Your challenge months for the year, I'm gonna say, I think June and July are potentially challenge months. I actually like August because I think the power is with you. September, October could be challenge months, and December I think is going to be neutral. Your power months for the year, January I really like, February I really like March. I love April. I think April is probably your strongest month of the year. I actually like August. I really like May as well, to be honest with you. I think May is going to bring you May is going to see you really understand how strong you really are and how you are an agent of change. Now, look at this, right? You are Life Path 3, you have the Gate 33, and the message on it is looking back. This is from the Human Design Oracle deck. And what really strikes me here is this is what Denise calls a remembrance gate. It's a lot to do with the past. It's looking back over the past, reflecting over things. And there seems to be a lot of that this year, right? You had the Judgment card as your first card out, looking over, wrapping up old cycles. If there's anything I can say about this year for you as a life path 3, this is the year you are closing out the loops, you're closing out the cycles, and you are preparing really to move forward. So while your 2026 isn't so much of the one energy, I think it really creates the fertile ground that you need so that in 2027 you can really excel. This is going to be a year of closing out cycles, I think, for you guys. I really, really do. And examining your past at a really deep level. Whether you watch these back every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, thank you so much. I love seeing your comments. I love seeing that these are serving people throughout the year. It really does mean a lot to me. And it's so heartwarming when you come back and like I read your comments and people are like, oh my God, this is how my year went. Or, oh my gosh, you said that this was going to happen. And that was the month that I got married. Or, all of that stuff. I love that. So thank you for that. If you want to get a personal reading with me, a tarot, astrology, numerology session, or even an energy work session, you can get those on the link in the description box below. If you really want to take this year seriously and you want to dig into what might be coming up for you, the compass is absolutely for you. We're going to dig into it. You get that 3-hour session where we can build you a bespoke plan for 2026. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Have a fantastic year. Take care, and I'll see you soon.